That is the scene at Basic High School after Canyon Springs defeated the Wolves in their homecoming game 20-15. Of course, the real story is what happened after the game was over. A fight broke out in the middle of the field between the Basic and Canyon Springs players, and the CCSD police on scene got involved and pepper spray was used. A lot of Canyon Springs players were caught in the fire, including Canyon Springs head coach Gus McNair. And the really interesting scene that took place there after the game. It was a very tense game. A lot of penalties. 4 ejections took place during the course of the game. I'm Ben Goetz, Nevada Preps, here with Elaine Wilson to recap all of your Friday night football action. But of course, this is the scene that ultimately is going to linger for days beyond Friday night.
A little bit shocking, actually. I was just talking about before the show. We saw a fight last year between Arborview and Centennial, what happened at the Raising Cane's and the In-N-Out, but this was just a different level, having it be at the school, on school grounds, and having the police get involved, CCSD police that is, just kind of a shocking scene. And I'm very interested to see what comes out in the next couple days about what exactly happened, since you and I weren't there, but these are just photos from our photographer at the scene, and quite stunning, to say the least.
No, our reporter on the scene, Sam Gordon, described the scene as chaotic. He said there were children crying. A lot of emotion stirred up in this game. Once again, this was Basic's homecoming, so certainly an emotional time for them. And of course, then the Wolves go out and lose, but certainly not what you want to see or what you hope to see at a high school sporting event. Just tension seemed to boil over after the game.
Yeah, I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, this was all because of something that happened in the huddle at the end of the game, one player approaching another, kind of starting some things. Like you said, multiple ejections, penalties, just emotions running high, and I'm obviously thankful that this doesn't happen very often. We don't see this very often. Other games in the Valley went off swimmingly tonight, obviously, but this scene just absolutely crazy. We were finding out about this as other games were ending, and we were finishing up all of our coverage of the other games going on, and things just very tense at Basic High School.
Right, and we'll keep you updated with all the information we have right now and in the days to come at NevadaPreps.com.
Let's get to some happier stuff. There was football that was happening in the Valley tonight. A much happier scene at Arborview. Faith Lutheran came in 0-2. Arborview has been undefeated so far. This was the scene before the game. So you think you can dance just a little bit? It was quite the scene. Much better than the other one we were talking about. 2 different offenses going on in this game. Arborview had a lot of run game going on, running down the clock, as opposed to Faith Lutheran, who is a no-huddle type team, high offense, lots of air raid going on. This was a back and forth game. It got very, very close there, but in the end, Arborview defeated Faith 27-24. It came down to this onside kick at the very end. It went out of bounds, and that was it for Faith. Final score, 27-24.
Real rough start for this Crusaders team. We had them highly ranked coming into the year, but now 0-3 after this tough loss to the Aggies. That's going to be tough for them to move fast as they get closer and closer to league play. Mm-hmm. Well, the game I was at tonight was Chaparral and Foothill, the Cowboys hosting the Falcons. Here we see a punt go over the Chaparral puncher's head. That was 1 of 2 in the first half. Unfortunately, set up short fields that set up Foothill touchdowns. Foothill raced out to a 21-0 lead at halftime, and its defense was just great tonight. Here we see the quarterback running, but of course, big hit by that Falcons defense. They held them to less than 150 yards of total offense, and we have a beautiful pass here for a touchdown. Foothill rolls 34-7. The Falcons are 3-0 for the first time since 2011 after this big win.
Then let's head out to Coronado High School, where they had a great performance against Durango. They won that one 20-6, so not a lot of end zone scoring, but some good football being played, some good defense, obviously, with a score like that. Final score at that one, 20-6.
Mm-hmm. Now, Shadow Ridge was hosting a 4-A matchup tonight between itself and Las Vegas. A little bit of a blow-up, but our man Zach Pockleb was on the scene, and he has more.
There's running over a team, and then there's what Aubrey Nellums and Shadow Ridge did to Las Vegas High School on Friday night. Nellums accounted for 3 touchdowns in the first half alone, and Shadow Ridge breezed to a victory.
There's Nellums right there, and he would have a big night, but he wasn't the first Mustang to score tonight. After a few carries for Nellums, quarterback Cody Presser faked out the entire Wildcat defense, and yours truly, going all the way to the house for the first touchdown of the night. On Shadow's next drive, Presser tries to find Elijah Young down the seam, but Zion Edwards comes up with a nice interception for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do anything on offense in the first half. Nellum's first touchdown came in style. Here he breaks through the first level, makes one cut, and he gone. 80 yards, 6 points, and a lot of happy Mustangs. Now on the other side of the ball, Shadow's defense bottled up workhorse Elijah Hicks, but Vegas had a chance to get one back here. They were in the red zone, a fumble, and it killed any semblance of momentum Vegas could have had. Shadow would make them pay on the ensuing drive, and here it's just kidding, it's Elijah Young on the reverse, and no Wildcat came close to touching him on his trot to the end zone. But of course, Nellums is the soul of this Mustang ground attack, and here, looks like the defender nah, he doesn't. He gets 6 again, a well-deserved celebration. He would add one more touchdown before the half ended, and the Mustangs cruised to a 47-13 win.
This is Ben Goetz of the Las Vegas Review.
Happened tonight, the Cimarron Centennial game. Now this one was big, mostly because it wasn't expected. Cimarron, this is their first league win in 2 years. They scored with 31 seconds left. Centennial got the ball back, tried for a Hail Mary, and it was intercepted by Cimarron Memorial. So there you have it. Probably our upset of the week here.
Definitely an upset special here. Rough start for a Bulldogs. That is a proud Centennial program, but they are not getting out to the start they want to this year.
No, not at all. And after we've recapped all of those games that we've gone through, we want to just go back very briefly to what happened tonight at Basic High School. Kind of a surprising scene. CCSD police bringing out mace. Ben Goetz has more.
This is Ben Goetz of the Las Vegas Review-Journal showing you a chaotic scene at Basic High School. The Wolves hosted their homecoming game on Friday night and lost 20-15 to Canyon Springs. But the real story is what happened after the final whistle blew. A fight broke out between Wolves and Pioneers players, and police intervened and sprayed pepper spray after the game. This is a game that featured a lot of tension. There were 4 ejections and multiple penalties, but mace was sprayed everywhere once the game was over. Children were crying, and Canyon Springs head coach Gus McNair was also sprayed in a game that is sure to have lots of lingering effects for many days to come. Read more at NevadaPreps.com. Well, even though we've had a lot happen this Friday night, we do want to remind you that there are some Saturday games tomorrow. Liberty and Legacy are playing, and of course Bishop Gorman is hosting De La Salle in its last non-league game. Gorman, of course, is now on a 2-game losing streak, so it'll be really interesting to see what they can do against De La Salle. Elaine, you will be at that game?
I will. I'm very excited. I've been to lots of Gorman and Arbor Review games this year, and Gorman obviously still that top team in Nevada. That's not disputed, but they're coming in as an underdog, I feel like, to this number 6 De La Salle team. So that's interesting. I don't think there's been a game recently where we could say, besides Modern Day, Gorman is the definite underdog. So definitely check out our coverage on NevadaPreps.com for the post game from that game as well.
Yeah, quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson hurt his shoulder at the end of last game. A loss to Miami Central, so it'll be interesting to see how he kind of handles that. And our guy Justin Emerson, who does the Nevada Preps preview with me every Thursday, will be at that game too.
Most definitely. Now, let's go back to what happened this Friday night. We're going to go through your scores throughout the Valley just to wrap up. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Nevada Preps postgame, and check out the rest of our coverage on NevadaPreps.com.